I was fixing to say I used 3 yo-yos off my fishing pier last night. I put 2 Catawba worms on each one. Get them out here in the light, we can see them. I need me a producer, and director, and cameraman. I moved them up in the shade so I can focus on them better. Not only will they bite you, like a tomato worm will, they can bite pretty good. Almost stepped on you. They'll also spit on you. Now, as I was trying to say, here's one that's mainly black. Come here. They won't let go. And there's one that's more green. That one there is mostly green. Okay, that's a leaf they've been eating on there. Of course, that I pulled off the tree and I put that in the bucket from them to eat on last night. Their feet, they're like a tomato worm. They got those suction, I call them suction cups, on their bottom. See if I can get this one to stay upside down long enough. You can see them there. It's sticking to my finger. You also little round pellets, that's Catawba poop. Catawba worms are funny. There's 19 Catawba worm trees right around my house in this neighborhood. And I went around last year and 7 of them had worms. This year, so far, only 3 of them had worms. Now there was some baby worms on the trees in my backyard, but the birds got them. But the Catawba worms this year, they were 2 weeks late. They didn't come until the middle of June. Usually they're around the 1st of June, and they're usually gone by July. You see the lid. So what you do is you get a sandwich bag and you fill it with cornmeal, and you put them in the cornmeal, then you put them in the freezer, and that keeps them from spoiling, and you can use them at different times of the year. This is my Catawba worm pole. It's a big thick cane pole, about 16 foot long, and then on the end of it I use duct tape and a, if I can zoom in here, I use duct tape and a baling wire and duct tape. You can fix anything with baling wire and duct tape. And that hook, I can reach up and grab a hold of the higher up limbs, and I can shake them. And on most days, the Catawba worms will fall to the ground. And then you got to find them in the grass. Catawba worm trees grow very fast. I bought, these are 1.5 years old in my backyard. And the one on the right's already had worms. They say you can't get worms on a new tree unless you can go find a cluster of eggs in the spring when the moth lays the eggs, and then put that cluster of eggs. But I tried a new trick. I went and gathered up a whole bunch of Catawba poop from the base of a tree, and I covered the ground under my trees with Catawba poop. And the moth evidently thought that was a good tree. I think I found a new trick to work. They'll eat a tree up in a short time if there's a bunch of them, but I've been getting them off so they hadn't eaten my little tree up very much. And see where they do eat on the leaves, I think, if I can find this there, you can see on that. But they'll completely eat the leaves off a tree if you leave them alone long enough. if the birds don't get them or the people don't get them. It don't hurt the tree. The leaves grow back very fast. In fact, some years you even have a second or third crop. I see one up there on the limb. If I can get up there. Oh, there he is. That one's actually on the tree. This is a tree in my backyard still. There's not. This tree I can just reach up and get them, but I'm gonna let them grow just a little bit and get a little bit bigger. Catch another catfish. I caught 3 catfish on Catawba worms in the last 4 nights. I caught another catfish on magic bait, but I caught a 3-pounder last night on Catawba worms. This tree really don't have very many worms. If it did, most of the leaves would be gone by now. But I've been getting a few off of it every day. A lot of people like the tree, the big broad leaves. They think it's pretty. But of course when worms get a hold of them, they don't last long. Now when you see one up there that high, if I can find him, that's where that big pole comes in handy, when they're way up there in the top of the tree. Well, here's 2 of them on my hand. These are 2 of the green ones come off the tree. You can see their suction feet, how they're hanging there. And they also spit and they bite. Every once in a while they'll take a whack at each other. They do fight. See that one there? They'll end up. I take and I nick a little hole in them first so that that green stuff starts coming out, because that's what attracts the fish. That's a sweet smell, and it's like catnip to a catfish. Can't hardly see it, but I got some of the green coming out. This is hard. I don't have somebody to hold the camera. That I nick them, get some of the green, and then I put it on a hook like that. Not holding the camera and not having another hand, I'm not sure I'm getting a good picture of this. This is one I caught, a 3-pounder I caught on Catawba worms last night. He's walking down my fishing pier pretty good. I didn't look to see whether it's a blue or a channel yet.